I did it again. I just finished recording an episode that I spent an entire hour talking, and I ended literally seconds ago. Just went to go end the video, and it only recorded 10 minutes of that entire hour that I was talking. So, I just have to do everything that I just did all over again. And this is the life of doing these things. It's a good thing I enjoy doing it, because otherwise I would just wrap up shop and call it quits. But that's not me. I'm trying to pursue a full-time career in this space. So here I am again, about to go talk about the same exact things that I just talked about. I can't believe it didn't record. That's such a bummer. Anyways, first question is this is just so off topic, but is it weird? Because I've let me backtrack. So this past weekend on Friday night, I ended up going out with some friends. One of my buddies came back from Oregon. So we went out on the town, you could say. Nothing too crazy, but we went out, and so Friday night I was at work, and they were waiting for me at the apartment here to go out, and also waiting for the Uber to get here. So I show up, and they're ready to go. So I, at the time, I was riding an empty stomach. So, but I knew I didn't have enough time to make myself a full meal. So what I do in those situations is I'll literally I buy these 6-packs of romaine lettuce heads, and normally I'll just make salads with them or whatever. But when I'm pressed for time, in this situation, I'll just grab a whole head of lettuce and then just get the bottle of salad dressing as well, and then I'll just pour a little dressing on the salad, and then I'll just start eating the actual head of lettuce. To me, it makes perfect logical sense to do that, especially when you're pressed for time. It just cuts out all the work of having to actually pre-assemble and make a salad. It just makes it it streamlines it, you know what I mean? But there's definitely some of my buddies were a little concerned about it, for sure. They'd never seen that happen, and I literally, before I moved in here, I would do that all the time after work, because I'd be so tired. I would just go into the kitchen, grab a head of lettuce, and just pour dressing as I eat it. I don't think it's that weird, to be honest with you, but I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. Is that a weird thing to do? Just eat a salad that is not even constructed, just tackling on a head of lettuce? I don't think so. I think it's actually smart to do it that way, because it saves you time and cleanup, and the only thing you have to do is just screw the cap back onto the dressing and put it back. But let me know what you think, because I don't think I'm too crazy for that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the show here. Okay, so we're back. We're live. We're ready to go again. Like I said, this is round 2 of this episode, because for whatever reason, the camera just didn't record anything but the first 10 minutes of the last time I tried to do this, which was 3 minutes ago. But we're going to give it another go here, and hope that I can recall the same things that I was saying before. Right off rip here, I was looking for things to talk about again this week, and I found out that there is apparently a ocean. People just discovered an ocean underneath the ocean, which, based off of that, makes no sense, right? But no, I'm not joking. Apparently there's been a discovery that like 700 kilometers underground beneath the surface of the earth, which is probably like 400 and some miles. 400 miles underneath the surface of this fucking planet, there is apparently a new discovered ocean inside of a rock. Apparently, like, there's a type of rock down there that like is soaking up all of this water. And the mind-blowing thing is, well, that's mind-blowing in itself. The fact that there's an ocean inside of an ocean, that just defies everything I know about science. But apparently they found, like, if this rock contains just 1%, just 1% of water, that would mean that it contains 3 times more water than all of the oceans on the surface combined. So, like, think of how much water is actually in, like, the oceans, every ocean on this planet. Think about how much water that is. I mean, up until now, we've known that, like, this planet is like 70% water or something like that. Don't fact check me on that one because I know it could be wrong. But apparently, yeah, this underground ocean, if it contained just 1% of water, that would mean it's 3 times bigger than all of the oceans on the surface combined. And I'm going to double down on that and say that's just if there's 1% water inside of this rock thing. Let alone if there's 5 to 10% water in this thing. I can't even wrap my head around how much water that is and how it could be stored underground. I don't get it. It's just terrifying to me. The fact that we just found this out, like, I think the article came out like a month ago. We just collectively found out that we're standing on another ocean, and humans have been civilized for how long? And we just now found this out. That's terrifying. Mainly because of the fact that it leads me to ask what else is, like, going on this planet that we don't know about, because that whole story just totally goes against everything I've ever learned about science. As far as I've known, the earth is just inside, it's just one big ball, like a hot ball called a core, and then it's just different layers of fucking dirt. Like, that's what I was taught. It's just dirt, more dirt, different type of dirt, another type of dirt, maybe some rock, and then the center is just a hot core. That's what I've thought, but apparently not. Apparently there is just a whole different ecosystem down there, which also backs my logic of assuming that the megalodon shark can for sure be a feasible opportunity or possibility, as far as being an existent creature. Absolutely terrifying. I think it's a fact that I'm pretty sure we know more about what's outside of the earth, like in space and shit. I think we know more about outer space than we do about our actual planet, which is, is that a concern for anyone else except for me? Because I feel like that should be a level 1 concern. If level 1 is like the highest concern, I believe that should be a level 1 concern, because why are we finding more stuff out about, what's going on outside in outer space when we don't even know what's going on our own planet? Absolutely terrifying stuff. But anyways, yeah, it just blew my mind because it goes against everything I've ever known about what I've learned about science. And it also just adds to that feeling of, like, being fucked, like, as a whole planet. If we just now found this out, what else are we going to find out once they start looking into it? Raises some concerns, doesn't it? I don't know. But, yeah. Anyways, I was looking for things to do here, because that's that's the epitome of this show, is just trying to figure out what to talk about for an hour, and keep people somewhat entertained. And I got lost in the sauce on these like BuzzFeed personality quizzes. You ever hit that moment in life where sometimes you just wake up and you're like, what am I doing? You know? Yeah. Like, I know some people are going to resonate with that feeling of waking up and just rolling out of bed and being going through the motions, but not really knowing, like, yo, what am I even doing this for? Right? And I think that's a huge part of everyone's life. And if it's not, you're lying. You're lying. And for me in particular, like, it was just one of those days. You know, I rolled out of bed and I'm getting ready to record this. And the whole time I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? And so I stumbled upon these quizzes here. And I'm going to lead off with this because this is a great poll. This is a great poll. But one of the first quizzes I took, I should have taken it, you know, while I was recording, because that would have been some good, like, I don't know, content. But I took this first one, and it was, who's your celebrity girlfriend? And, you know, I've talked about it before, but I always have known that my celebrity girlfriend would be either Margot Robbie or Dua Lipa. Just again, that's going to be based off of physical appearance. I'm just going to shoot you straight. That's not knowing anything about them aside from Margot's movies and Dua's music. Aside from that, it's just solely based off of their physical appearance, which is, you know, exactly what this. I think that's what people need to do, is start judging by physical appearance. Yep. And I mean that. That's the only way to do life, is by judging. I think you should judge a book by its cover. Yep, I said it. And that's what I've been doing. But this quiz that I took led me in a different direction. I actually ended up, after answering 10 questions, according to BuzzFeed, my celebrity girlfriend would be Jessica Biel. And for those of you who don't know who Jessica Biel is, she's just another top tier actress. I don't know if she's been in a lot recently, but we're talking about. I'm actually looking at all of her movies right now. I don't know if I've seen any of these, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, what a pull, Jessica Biel. Let me see if I can find a good picture. Good picture that would be like, oh yeah, no, Jason pulled a bad bitch, because she is. Don't get me wrong. Let's see here. Oh, like this one. This is a great. Well, not that one. Anyways, Jessica Biel is based off of BuzzFeed's quiz. This is my celebrity girlfriend right here, and based off of what I'm seeing right now, I'm not upset about that at all. She looks beautiful. She looks great, honestly. So, yeah. But that got me also wondering. It just led me down a rabbit hole of like these other types of quizzes, which is what I'm going to spend majority of today doing. Actually, not majority. That's what I'm going to spend today doing. Today we're going to find out a lot about myself. I just started out by telling everyone that, you know, my celebrity girlfriend is going to be Jessica Biel. So we're going to dive a little deeper and see what else can I find out about myself that I don't know. Because for those of you who don't know, basically, let's see, who am I? If I had to answer that, I am a 24-year-old adopted Korean guy that got shipped overseas in a rice boat from South Korea at the age of 6 months old, after my parents looked through a catalog of children who were available for adoption. They sifted through that catalog pretty thoroughly, and I ended up being, you know, the one kid in that entire catalog that had like a full page biography and about me section. And I guess it resonated with my parents at the time, and so they ordered me, paid through PayPal, and placed the order on the adoption site. And next thing you know, a couple weeks later, my ass is going straight from an orphanage. Yeah, I was, well, not an orphan, well, foster home. I don't know if those are the same, but I was in a foster home, and so I vividly remember the day that that order got confirmed, and my foster parents come in, and they're like, "We have great news. Someone in the Americas found you in the catalog, and they paid a premium for you, and so pack up your shit. We're sending you over to America." And so I packed all my stuff up, and I hopped in my little rice boat that they ship all these Korean kids off on, and next thing you know, 3 to 5 business weeks later, I'm rolling into the U.S., and everything else is history. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. Just a random Asian kid from a catalog of foster kids, and my number got picked, and like I said just a few seconds ago, the rest is history. So we're going to find out a little bit more about myself here today, and I can't wait for you guys to be along this journey with me. The next quiz I have here is it's a career quiz, in case what I'm doing right now, this podcasting thing, if this doesn't work out, I got to have a backup option, right? So right now we're going to find out what other career would I do best in if I can't succeed in the industry of podcasting. This one should be interesting because I hate working. I know I'm pretty sure everyone hates working, but I don't mind working, but I don't enjoy working for other people. You know what I mean? Let me do my own definition of working. Whether or not I'm getting paid for it, let me just do my own thing. I don't want to go work for somebody else again. Okay? But we're going to find out what that potential career could be right now. This one is from Princeton, so it's reliable. So at the end of this quiz, when I find out what my other career could be, if this podcasting thing doesn't work out, obviously because I just took a Princeton quiz, this is going to be what I end up doing next. Okay. First question here. Number 1, I would rather be a wildlife expert, or I would rather be a public relations professional. See, neither of these options sound awesome to me. A wildlife expert or a public relations professional. To be honest, I don't even really know what public relations is. Is that just customer service? What is that? Public relations. The professional maintenance of a favorable public image by a company. So the state of the relationship between the public and a company. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know what public relations is, that's basically making sure that the company looks good in the eyes of the public, no matter what. And compared to being a wildlife expert, I think I'd rather be a public relations professional. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Number 2, I would rather be a company controller, or I would rather be a TV news anchor. I don't know if I would. I mean, controlling a company would be sick, but then what are you doing? Your day to day. It's kind of boring unless you don't have to do anything, and then you could just do everything. But it would be me personally, I think it would be cool to have my own late night talk show kind of vibe going on. And I think that resonates with being a TV news anchor. So we'll go with that option. Number 3 here, I would rather be a tax lawyer or a newspaper editor. That without a hesitation, I'm a newspaper editor. I'm not dealing with taxes or being a lawyer. Hell no. I would rather be an auditor or a musician. correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure an auditor is just someone that like goes into businesses and makes sure that they're doing things properly. That sounds boring as fuck. We're gonna be a musician because that's a lot more creative, and I think I fit more in that realm. Next questions. I would rather be a production manager or an advertising manager. I'm gonna go with production manager because I would rather pay other people to figure out how to like advertise the content that I'm producing. I don't enjoy dealing with that. So we'll be the production manager. Number 6, I would rather be an accounting manager or a history professor. Wow, both of these suck. No offense to anyone that does these, but both of these are, I mean, for me personally, these sound like hell to me. I failed accounting in college twice, so I don't think I fit in that role. And the third time I took it, I got a C. So I don't know if that's really passing. That's just getting by. So, but also history is just so boring to me. But it doesn't have to deal with a bunch of numbers. So I think we'll go with history. Number 7, I would rather be a bookkeeper or an electrician. Again, with the numbers. I'm not a big numbers guy. I can do math, but it's not, I don't want to spend my entire life doing it. So I think we'll be an electrician because that's more hands-on, right? I'd much rather do this blue-collar electrician work than a white-collar account bookkeeper. It's just my take. That's just my opinion, but that's what I'm going to choose. Number 8 here, I would rather be a writer or I would rather be an elected official. I hate writing. I don't enjoy it. But you know what is also worse than being like having to write is having to deal with all the bullshit and the drama of being like an elected official. I think there's too much baggage with this option. I mean you're gonna have people that love you and hate you either way, but I think I would rather have people love and hate me as a writer compared to a public elected official. So writer it is. I would rather be a clerical worker or a carpenter. I'm going to go with carpenter here. Clerical worker sounds like, I don't know what that is, but it just sounds like you sit at a desk and like deal with people. So no, thank you. I'll be a carpenter. Again, rather do the physical work with my hands than the white collar clerical worker. Number 10, I would rather be a payroll manager or I would rather be a manager of engineering. I mean, these suck. And I know this is, at the end, this is going to give me like some job that I just don't, like a real life job. But based off of these questions, like I'm scared to know what that job is going to be. I'm going to check and make sure this camera's fucking recording right now because thank God. Because it just crossed my mind. I'm not going to record this episode 3 times in a row. Anyways, payroll manager or manager of engineering, I'll go with an engineering manager. I don't even know what those guys do. 11, I would rather be an audit manager or a safety manager. I don't like either of these because as a safety manager, people just hate you because you are the guy that makes sure people are like following like rules, regulations, protocol. You just don't enjoy that guy in the workspace, even though you know that's his job. Like his only job is to make sure people are doing things safely and properly. But at the end of the day, like people don't enjoy having that person tell them that. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, being an audit manager, just going to people's houses and doing audits sounds horrible too. I guess I'll be the safety manager and have people dislike me. Number 12, I would rather be an artist or a salesperson. Easiest question ever. I'm going to be an artist. I'm not a big salesperson. 13, I'm usually patient when I have to wait, or I get restless when I have to wait. I'm patient. I'm a laid back guy. I'd like to view myself and think of myself as a type of person that, I'm the man that can't be moved. I'm someone you could throw every problem at, and I would like to say that I can confidently deal with it with a sense of not giving a fuck. You know? Like, give me all your problems, and I will sit here and listen to them and let them go in one ear and out the other. Like, that's just how I roll. You might consider that having a lack of empathy, but I can be empathetic when I need to be, okay? 14. It is easy to laugh at one's little social errors. It is easy to laugh at one's little social errors, or it is hard to laugh at one's little social errors. I don't understand that. But if that means like making fun of people because they like can't speak thoroughly, well, first of all, I'm right there with you. Secondly, yeah, I'm probably going to be the guy that calls you out and is like, hey, you mean this or you mean that? I'm going to be that asshole. So it's easy to laugh. 15, it is wise to make it known if someone is doing something that bothers you, or it is wise to remain silent if someone is doing something that bothers you. There needs to be a middle option for this one because I'm patient enough to like deal with things. Like, I'm not going to be that one guy that complains at everything, every little small thing. But I'm also not the guy that's just going to let people continue to do it and like walk all over. Like, at some point it's going to be like, okay, yo, yeah, fucking knock it off. You know what I mean? But not the first or the second time. Like, it might be the fourth or fifth time. I'm definitely going to say something, but I'm not going to just let it happen. You know what I mean? So there needs to be a middle option, but I guess it's going to be, it is wise to make it known if someone is doing something that bothers you. 16, it's not okay to argue with others even when you know you are right, or it's okay to argue with others when you know you are right. This one, depending on the situation, like if this is a factual based conversation and a factual based argument that is strictly based upon 1 + 1 = 2 and not some confounding hypothetical situation that, you know, there's different loopholes that you could go about it. If it's just cut and paste black and white situation, I think it's okay to argue with others when you know you're right. And I will do that. If I know I'm 100% right on something and you come to me saying it's this other thing and try to justify it, I'm going to shoot you down so fast because I already know the truth, and subconsciously I won't allow any other option to be available. Do with that information what you may. 17, I like to bargain to get a good price, or I don't like to have to bargain to get a good price. This depends on the situation entirely. If it is a situation like buying a car and you have to negotiate, I'm horrible at that. I'm actually horrible. But if it's something small, like if I'm going to like a garage sale and I see like some nice little gadget that I'm like, oh, that's cool, but they're asking 20, I'm going to go up to the owner and be like, yo, I can do 12. I can do 12, and then that's my strategy is anything that has to be negotiated, you always lowball on the very first one to drop their expectations and be like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. So I'll go like on a $20 item, I'll be like, okay, $12 or even $10. I'll go $10. They're going to be like, no, what the fuck? Even though I'm already assuming that I'm going to pay at least $15 for this item, and I'm okay with that. So then they're going to rebut with, okay, how about 13? And I'll be like, I don't know, can you do 12? And they're like, I can't do 12. And then I'll be like, okay, you know what? I can do 13 and save myself the $7. Like, that's my strategy going into negotiating situations. So yeah, I like to bargain. 18, it is easy to be outgoing and sociable at a party with strangers, or it is hard to be outgoing and sociable at a party with strangers. This one, I'm going to go with it's hard. I'm not an extroverted individual. I can have a good time and be social with people I know, but when it comes to strangers, I'm nice. I can hold a conversation, but I'm not going to like be super as outgoing as I am if it's just me and my friends. 19. I would read the instructions first when putting a new toy together, or I would just jump in and start putting it together for shits and giggles. Um, you have to follow the instructions. Like otherwise I'm not the type of guy that can just figure things out by looking at it. I have to have some sort of direction. And if you're able to do it without the sense of direction and instruction pamphlet, I mean that's sick. Like genuinely not a joke, like that's a skill. But for everyone else, I think instructions are probably a good thing. 20, it is usually best to be pleasant and let others decide if your ideas are worth accepting, or it is usually best to be forceful and sell your ideas to others. Obviously, it's probably best to let others decide if your ideas are worth accepting, but to a degree, you just sometimes got to throw shit out there and hope for the best. You know what I mean? But between these two, I'm gonna say it's probably better if you let others decide if your ideas are worth accepting, because otherwise you might come across as an asshole. I usually like to work cautiously, or I like to work fast. I like to work fast because the faster you can get the job done, the faster you can be back at home. 22. Generally, I prefer to work quietly with a minimum of wasted movement, or generally, I like to move around and burn some energy while I work. I'm going to go with burn some energy while I work. Again, this goes back to just, for me, this is a situation of, do you like minimum wasted movement, i.e. working at a cubicle, or do you prefer burning some energy while you work, i.e. doing like electrician work, like hands-on work? And I'd rather do that. 23. I don't like to have to persuade others to accept my ideas when there is a strong, forceful opposition or argument from others, or I like to sell and promote my ideas with others even when it takes some argument. I'm going to choose the latter here because I'm not, like I said, you can't just walk all over me. If I have an idea and I think it's a great idea, I don't care who's arguing with me, I'm going to express that. But not to the extent of like, it's my idea or it's death. Like there's a fine line, but I'm definitely going to express that. 24, it is better to listen carefully and be sure you understand when topics are being discussed, or it is better to speak up quickly and be heard when topics are being discussed. It's definitely better to listen carefully because if you speak up quickly, you're going to miss. Like I've had these situations, I'll say something immediately following someone else and I'll say the wrong thing just because I didn't understand the full scope of the conversation. So yeah, it's probably better to listen carefully. All right, let's see. Dude, sign up to view your quiz results? No. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, let's see. What kind of student are you? Well, I'm not a student. I'm a student of life. That's what I am. But we'll just say that. Graduation year? Dude, these guys are taking all my information. Are you interested? No, I'm not. Zip code? Sure. We'll just lie about that. Next. Next. This is so crazy that they're asking me all of these. What an unexpected. I have to sign up for this website to view my results. This is horrible. Email. Yeah, sorry for the didn't know this was part of the fucking quiz. I thought it was just going to give me my quiz. Bear with me. Okay. Give me my results. Give me my results. Now I have to choose a school that I'm interested in. Oh, dude, this is taking way too much time. Why can't I view this quiz? Guys, I'm not kidding you. I might let's see. Okay, here we go. Quiz results. I am what? Just give me my recommended careers. Here we go. This says that I would be a great art dealer, auctioneer, benefits administrator, auto salesperson, a hotel manager, or a investment banker. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, none of those sound good to me. I don't know what I was expecting, but this is not what I wanted to see. Nor is this even entertaining to hear. I'm not even going to lie. The last 30 minutes of doing this quiz might have just been for nothing, because this just told me a whole slew of careers that couldn't be far more less interesting to me. Wow, what a horrible way to end out that quiz. If you're listening to this, I sincerely apologize for the lack of entertainment that we just found in that quiz. I thought it was going to give us like, oh, you'd be a cool like Uber driver. Something a little more creative and exciting than a hotel manager. Yikes. Okay, so I guess as far as we know now, I'm married to Jessica Biel. That's my celebrity girlfriend, and my future career, if this podcasting thing doesn't pan out, is in the world of hotel management or whatever else I just said that sounded absolutely boring as hell. Gross. But okay, we'll take, I guess we have one here that's what is this one? This one's my life purpose. What is your purpose in life? It's a daunting question, but your answer may say a lot about your well-being. Studies link a sense of purpose to better physical and mental health, but your purpose isn't just about you. According to researchers, a true purpose is one that both personally meaningful and makes positive impact. So let's find out about my life's purpose, and let's hope that the results here are better than what we just endured, because as far as I'm concerned, the last half hour of me talking was for nothing, because the results were horrible. But here we go. Okay, purpose in life quiz. Question 1. I am usually bored, slightly bored, neither bored or enthusiastic, slightly enthusiastic, or enthusiastic. Usually, see, I'm so spontaneous that I'm never really bored. I'll just go do something. And a lot of you might say like, oh, this guy thinks he's spontaneous. He'll just go out and do shit. And I will though. Like I will. Like I used to get bored, but now it's like, dude, I can go do anything, and I probably will. So I'm going to say slightly enthusiastic, because I'm not over the top enthusiastic. Number 2, most of what I do seems trivial and unimportant to me. Well, if we're talking about this podcast in particular, I strongly disagree, because I believe that this platform is doing great things for this world, especially to those that are listening. My main goal is, every week, if I can make one person get a little chuckle, not even a laugh, just a chuckle, like when you're laying in bed at like 11:30 p.m. and you're on TikTok and you see a video that you're like, it makes you go like, like just that, like just a little oomph of like, oh, that was kind of funny. I don't need a whole big spiel of like laughter. I just need something that makes people go like, like, oh, that was kind of funny. Like, that's enough for me. And that's pretty trivial to me. So I'm going to go ahead and say I disagree with that statement. Number 3, I know how I can use my talents to make a meaningful contribution to the larger world. Whether or not I know about it, I'm using what I think are my talents to do this, to talk absolute nonsense to people through a podcast medium, to make a meaningful contribution. Now, I mean, that's up to you guys. Like, if this is meaningful to you, then yeah, I strongly agree with this statement, but I don't know if it's a meaningful contribution. So I'm just going to say I don't agree or disagree. We're neutral. Number 4, how well do you understand what gives your life meaning? This is a deep quiz here. We're going to find out a lot about me. How well do you understand what gives your life meaning? Not at all, slightly, somewhat, very, or extremely. What gives my life meaning? Do I understand what gives my life meaning? As I'm thinking about that right now, slightly. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'll just say slightly. Number 5, how confident are you that you have discovered a satisfying purpose for your life? Again, if we're talking about this, what I'm doing right now, just talking to myself for an hour in hopes that people, might find it just the slightest bit, humorous and uplifting to listen to, then yeah, I'm very confident in that. And again, this is a personal take, so whatever you think my answer should be, I'm gonna go ahead and go right past that and just choose what I think. Number 6, how clearly do you understand what it is that makes your life feel worthwhile? Do I understand what it is that makes my life feel worthwhile? What a question. I'm just going to say somewhat because I barely understand the question. How much effort are you putting into making your goals a reality? Well, if we're talking about that, then I'm putting in, this is my second time recording this episode. That's a lot of effort. So I'm going to go ahead and say quite a bit of effort making my goals a reality. My goal is to become a full-time podcaster, and I'm taking the steps. I'm doing the work. I'm laying down the foundation of what that would look like. So quite a bit, I'm going to say. How excited are you about carrying out the plans that you set for yourself? I'm extremely excited because in this industry, like, if I can do this for the rest of my life and get paid for it, I'll be a happy individual. So extremely is going to be my answer. What portion of your daily activities move you closer to your long-term aims? I'm just going to say some, because there's a lot of my day-to-day that just has no meaning to podcasting, to be honest with you. Number 10, how often do you learn something new so that you can help others? I read. I try to read every night. And so if by reading that's learning, then I would say almost all the time. How often do you hope to leave the world better than you found it? These are so deep. Do I frequently hope to leave the world better? Once in a while, or almost never, or sometimes? I'm going to say sometimes because I would like to say that I'm going to leave the world in a better place when I die, but who knows? Things change. How often do you hope that the work you do positively influences others? All the time. All the time. Not even going to lie. No matter how many people actually listen to this shit that I'm putting out, I'm hoping that at least all the time that one person does, that they get some sense of comedic relief. So all the time. How often do you volunteer to contribute to the welfare of others? As far as like volunteering goes, I've done that a few times, but not enough to, put that on the resume. Um, but I am the type of person, literally today it happened. Like when you go buy something at a store and they ask you if you want to round up to the nearest dollar to support like children or some shit. Yeah, I'll do that. So if that's contributing to the welfare of others, I would say that I'm frequently doing that because I mean, honestly, if we're being honest and truthful, I only do that because I don't like dealing with change. So like if it's cash, I don't want to hold all this loose change in my pocket, and if it's on my card, I don't want to see my bank statement with like spare change in the account. Like I just want it to be an even number. You know what I mean? So we'll go frequently. How well can you describe your purpose? Oof. Well, somewhat well, slightly well, or not very well. I think I was put here. What is my purpose? I thought this quiz was going to tell me. So why am I having a question that's asking me about describing my purpose when I'm taking a quiz to find out what it is? In that case, we'll just do not very well. What is my age? Yep. 18 to 29. Select your ethnic background. This is a weird question to have. I'm going to let you guys fill that one in. What ethnicity am I? Look at my face. Look at my eyes. Look at my skin color. You tell me. Because I'm not white. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm not black. And I'm not Hispanic. I think the eyes are the telltale sign that we're Asian. In terms of your gender, okay, I'm just a man. What describes your highest level of education? We got that bachelor's degree, baby. What describes the neighborhood in which you live? Rural, suburban, small city, big city? I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is just a small city. Or it could be suburban. I don't know. Small city. Which category best describes your work? Art, business, math, construction, education, healthcare, law, media, military, nonprofit, politics, sales, services, student, or other. What is a podcast considered? I don't know. Especially a podcast that doesn't teach anything. I'm just going to hit other. Just going to do other. How would you describe your political views? Oh, man, I hate these questions because honestly, sidetrack, I don't care. I do care, but I don't care enough to pin myself as one way or the other because I see it both ways. I see good and bad from both sides. So I'm just going to say moderate. All right, let's see. It's calculating. Purpose in life quiz results. Your purpose score is 50 out of 70, indicating a moderate level of purpose. Okay. Your score suggests that you have a sense of purpose, which is good news. They're more likely to floss teeth, exercise, and get to the doctor. That's a lie. I haven't been to the doctor since I had to get a physical for high school sports. Having a purpose is also associated with lower stress. Sure. But your score also suggests there's room to grow. Okay. It could be that one of these components is missing in your life, including commitment, meaningfulness, goal-orientedness, and a vision larger than oneself. You could be burned out. Maybe I'm doubting my goals. Okay, so again, this whole episode has gone to shit because I thought this was going to tell me my purpose, and this is just telling me how well I know about my purpose. So damn, just dropped the ball on majority of this entire episode by not finding out the information that I was hoping to find out. But that's okay. Wow. So I guess at the end of the day, I'm not just a kid that an orphan or a foster home Asian South Korean guy that my family ordered from a catalog of foster children, and 6 to 8 business weeks later I was in the middle of the ocean in a rice boat coming over to America. I guess that's not the full scope, because like we found out today, I have a lot more potential. I have the potential to get in a serious committed relationship with Jessica Biel. I have a potential in hotel management and bookkeeping. And I somewhat know the purpose of why I'm here on this planet. So, I mean, that sounds like it sucks. I'm gonna be real transparent. That sounds horrible. I think I'm just gonna stick to the narrative that I have been sticking with my entire life of being an adopted Korean kid that lived in a foster home, and my family flipped through a catalog of other, available children on the market, and I'm pretty sure I had like a full page biography in this catalog, and my parents flipped the page, saw me, and was like, "Hey, that's a winner right there." And then they went ahead and, ordered it through the website, ordered me through the website, and then again, 6 to 8 weeks later, I'm in the middle of the ocean sailing across the sea in a little rice hat in a rice boat, and next thing I know, I'm growing up as an American, baby. I'll stick to that narrative because that's a lot more interesting than being a hotel manager that doesn't really know his life purpose. And I mean, even the former version of myself doesn't really know the purpose of his life, but that's what we're doing right now. We're experimenting. We're trying to find out what that might be. And, I think it could be this. I think it could be my purpose being making subpar, mediocre content and pushing it out on multiple platforms so that other people can also get a piece of this action of subpar, sarcastic content about literally nothing under the sun. I mean, we just took like 2 quizzes online for an hour and found out little to no information about what these results truly mean. But oh well, we're just here filling up this entire hour just because. And all I can say is stick with me because I'm trying to figure all this out on my own. This is just a hobby of mine that, I thought would be interesting to go down and start venturing into, and it's been great as far as, I'm talking about this podcasting thing. But, I'm still trying to figure out the ropes, and I'm all about it. There's nothing else that I would rather be doing right now than talking shit about myself and other people in front of a camera on a microphone for the world to hear. Maybe that's my purpose, is just talking shit. Just a shit-talking piece of shit. In that case, yeah, I know my purpose very well. Let's see. Oh, I mean, we'll wrap up here in a little bit. I mean, we're already at 50 minutes. But I think last week I had mentioned I was going to walk into this week's episode with a new sense of energy because at the time, I was expecting to win just a fat sports bet. And clearly that did not happen. It couldn't have been so more off. I lost all my money last week immediately after I said I was going to win. And last night, same story. Logged into DraftKings for the Nuggets game against the T-Wolves, and thought Nuggets would have a little bit of potential going into game 2. Did not happen. I mean, the game was over by the end of the second quarter. It was horrible. And my roommate and I, we threw, like, at the end of the first, we were like, you know what? Nuggets are going to come back. We're fine. So let's just take $50 on the Nuggets to win the first half. I don't know if anyone watched that game, but if you did, you could easily tell that they lost so bad. It was horrible. And so, yeah, my just when you think your sports betting is going up, your team that you consistently bet on to win just loses so bad that by the end of the fourth quarter, all of the bench players are just playing because everyone's just waiting for the game to end because it's already a sealed deal. So, yeah, that was a bummer, but there's always next week. There's always, tomorrow, actually. So we'll see what happens when we throw a little more money. I'm hoping that one of these days one of my bets can hit because I think last week when we checked, I had 76 bets that I've never won, and I've only won like 4. So we're gonna try to even that record out little by little, day by day. But yeah, sports betting. If sports betting was my purpose, then my purpose is fucked because I'm so bad at sports betting. But yeah, I think that's gonna be about it for this week, guys. Again, wish it could have been a little bit more exciting, but I'm just doing these right now just to get the content out there. Later down the road, it's gonna be a little bit more, a little more juicy, a little better to listen to, a little more engaging. But for now, I'm just taking it day by day, week by week. As long as I can get in front of this microphone, and as long as I can start talking for a little bit of time every week and upload these things, that's all I need. I'm just building experience under the belt right now, and that's all I can do. And one day it'll all pay off. But until that day comes, I'm gonna count on the few people that do listen to this show. I'm gonna count on them to help carry me the rest of the way. Maybe I'll start throwing up like my Venmo, and people can support the show there, and I can do a lot more different things. But other than that, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. About 55 minutes in, and I'm tired of doing this. So I'll talk to you guys next week, and until then, peace out.